Today we're talking about the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 37 and my first impressions of the shoe. Stay tuned.
You're one of a kind. You do the things I like. Bring me down low tide, hot tide, bow ties. Girl, you're like the moonlight. Cause you got the strength to pull me in the deep end, to wash it all away whenever you're speaking. Girl, you got me seasick. Girl, you got me tweaking. Got me staring at my ceiling, hoping for the reason I've been in the feeling. I lost my ways, my touch, my balance. Lost in your waves, your love keep crashing. Sugar daddy money, either that or she responsible. I cannot tell, but I know how to talk to her from the other. Gucci or Chanel, I know. Louis YSL, I know. Vintage bags, they don't sell at retail. Speak your language for real, for real. I mean, for real. Party on the weekend, forget about your demons. Switching who you seeing, every other weekend. Drinking on the weekdays, for every other reason. And you don't even mean it, no. You ain't got no feelings. You do the things I like. You bring me down low tide, hot tide, bow ties. Girl, you're like the moonlight. You got the strength, to pull me in the deep end, to wash it all away whenever you're speaking. I lost my way.
Whoa. Okay, so let's talk about the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 37s. I'm going to put one down. But currently, I've run twice in these shoes, and I've put on a total of 12 miles in them. Yesterday was dry weather, and then today was obviously raining, and I chose to film while it was raining, so that's why the footage is the way it is. I mean, it's an interesting way to test the shoe, is to run in the rain, because then you kind of see how it functions when conditions are not ideal. If you dislike the shoe and then you have to return it, you might run into some problems if the shoe is completely muddy, soaked, damaged in any sort of way, so I don't totally recommend it, but I knew after my first run that I was going to keep the shoe. So, yeah, small disclaimer, nobody's paying me to do this review on this shoe. I'm just doing this just to tell you guys my experience with the shoe and whether I would recommend it or not. So, yeah, let's break it down. So I bought this shoe with the expectation of being just an everyday, all-around type of running shoe. Probably not a race shoe, just something more for logging easy miles, maybe recovery runs. I would probably leave the Infinity React for the recovery runs, but this would be probably that step up if I'm going to do something between 5 to 12 miles and it's going to be at easy pace. Based on the first two runs I've had with this, it's a very stable shoe, very comfortable. This shoe is got its rep for having apparently like a Tide Pod in the forefoot. I'm just kidding. I guess there's like some sort of airbag in this shoe that's supposed to help while you're running. Can't really tell you if it's helping me or not quite yet, only because this is the second time I've run in it. And I guess this is the first, well, maybe the first time I've run in a shoe with this kind of technology. I guess the Alpha Fly is supposed to have something similar to this. But yeah, this is the first time I've run with a shoe that has apparently this like little air pocket in it. And I guess the size varies between men and women's shoes in terms of how big this pocket is. But I'm going to stick with the men's size for now. We're just going to play it out for a few runs and see what it does in the long term per se. So I think a huge positive with this shoe right now with first impressions is that when I want to try to run fast in this shoe, it responds very well and it reacts very well to the speed. And I think that's where this airbag plays a part in the shoe, especially in case in my stride. I don't heel strike ever. I'm more of a midfoot, maybe sometimes a toe stride, depending on the weight of the shoe. So I think this functions in a similar way to the Next Percent and the Alpha Fly. except I haven't run in the Alpha Fly, but I'm assuming that it's going to be rolling with the carbon fiber plate technology. Works the same way in both shoes. Maybe this is what this airbag is supposed to simulate as well, is that push and then this kind of a spring to it. In the rain, of course, when it was a little bit more soaked and a little bit muddier, the shoe didn't feel wet while you were running. It might be also a part to play with the socks that I was wearing, that it just wasn't, the water and the mud wasn't getting to my feet. Highly likely, but again, can't be too certain until we run in the rain again with them. But overall, the shoe didn't feel like it was getting heavier while we were running, and that's probably really important so your feet don't start dragging. That's been a big concern I had with the Pegasus 36s when I was running with them the first time. That issue's kind of gone away after a little while. So yeah, overall, my first impression is that this is a pretty all-around shoe. If you want to run fast in them, it'll let you run fast. Yeah, I'm just gonna see moving forward if I have any cons with it. I think the con I remember seeing online was that people were talking about heel slippage in the shoe. I didn't see any of that, and it might be the case that I had thicker socks and maybe it was just hugging the mouth of the shoe better. Hard to say again. We'll just have to keep playing around with it, and maybe after 100 miles, maybe after even 50 miles, I'll do a second breakdown on this. In terms of comparing it to the other Pegasus series shoes I've worn before, the Pegasus 36, I've done maybe like just under a dozen runs in them. They definitely feel a little bit more stiff than the 37. I don't know if it's just because we're breaking these down for the first time and maybe there's like some sort of adrenaline, or we're in different shape with them. Hard to say, but in my opinion, I think the 37 isn't feeling nearly as stiff, and I don't feel like I'm over supinating in this shoe either. It feels like it really wants me to push, or if I even push for an over supination, it corrects itself significantly better than the Pegasus 36. And then the other Pegasus series shoe I have is the Peg Turbos. These are definitely a different breed of Pegasus. I don't know if we can compare to the 37. They might be more of an apples-orange kind of comparison, because of course this is definitely a lighter shoe and a little bit less stable in my opinion, and slightly faster than the 36. Where the 37 is going to fit in between my two Pegasus series shoes here is it's kind of up in the air. Again, we got to keep playing around with this and see what we think about it. But yeah, the specs I know are definitely online. I would assume that they're similar to the 36. If not, maybe the offset might be a little bit higher based on just eyesight of the heel. Yeah, definitely the offset is probably higher on the 37 than the 36. My guess is that this is maybe 9-10 millimeter offset, and this is probably, man, maybe it looks like 6 to 8 millimeters on the 36. I'm just guesstimating. I'm just ballparking it from what I see. But yeah, that's realistically my thought on these shoes. And yeah, I'm excited to continue running in them. But first, I got to dry them off, and then we'll start breaking them down here and there during the week and see where they fit in my workout. I do want to try to do a tempo interval session with these just to see how well they perform. And if they do well, then they might end up replacing my old Peg Turbos in the tempo run section of my workouts. And maybe we upgrade the Peg Turbos up to threshold, or I don't know, maybe the Infinity React's going to make its comeback in my arsenal here instead of being just a recovery shoe. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions about the shoe, definitely comment below. I'll try to answer what I can about them, especially as we're moving forward and I continue running in them. If you like the video, definitely, if you like the video, just, you know, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Yeah, give me a thumbs up, show some love. And then, of course, I will keep you guys posted on how this shoe feels. And yeah, if you follow the channel, we got some Tokyo 2022 workouts that are going to start coming in. We're still continuing our work for Chicago Marathon 2020. And what the rest of the race season holds, because obviously the COOF's got us in a pretty odd spot where, of course, no races are happening. So I put up a video obviously on my 5 training tips during quarantine, and what I do to stay motivated every single day to run, because I have run every single day since the quarantine for Chicago has begun, which I believe was like March, like second week of March, maybe like March 14th, 15th. I've run every single day since then. And if you guys are interested in some of my tips, I will definitely share them with you or you can check out the link in the video. I'll link it right here, perhaps. And yeah, that's all I've got. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys real soon.
I lost my ways, my touch, my balance. Lost in your waves, your love keep crashing.